Well, welcome to today's Orange Monkey Report. Unfortunately, we're a day sooner to Zippy the Narcissist Clown swearing in. But on the bright side, that also puts us a day closer to the midterms. We better get out and vote. And 4 years where we tell Zippy, sayonara, you've been fired. So, there's always something to look forward to. What else we got going on in the news today? We want to talk about on the Orange Monkey. Came out, read in the Washington Post today. I'll credit them with a new poll showing President Obama with very high approval ratings as he leaves office, about 60%, and about 38% disapprove of his performance. Overall, I think a good presidency, not a great one, a good one. Kudos to him, and I think we'll look back very fondly. He took over a shithole from W, an absolute shithole. Country was in a major recession, the housing crisis, Wall Street amok, you name it. He took over some bad cards, a failed Iraq war, and he managed to pull us out of that. So kudos to him. I'm going to probably up that to very good, which puts him in a very rarefied company of presidents. Unfortunately, it's only still a men's club. In a country that the majority of the population is women, our presidency is only a men's club, which is ridiculous and stupid, but that's us. So I'm going to put him in the very good class. Probably Abe Lincoln, who held threads together in the Civil War with guts and nerve, is probably great. And then maybe right along with that, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a very wise man who perceived what was going on in the world long before America, the greater America, did. And talking about leading the country through World War II and in that period before it, and understanding the tough decisions he had to do. And I look at the leadership he did, and then ultimately in Harry Truman when he took over and the difficulties they had at that time. Really amazing feats. So I'm going to put Obama just kind of below those two in the very good class. Very few make great. Great's an overused word. I always hear that. If you were to talk to, watch a lot of sports, there's about, every sport, somebody in the game is great. No, great is very few. Great is, when you're talking, say, basketball, great is LeBron James. That's great. Maybe Curry gets in that conversation, but it's LeBron. He's the great one of his era right now. They're not all great. Okay, there are good and very good, and then the rarefied air of great. So putting an Obama in a very good presidency category is a remarkable feat for him. And kudos to him for getting out with high marks and a lot of class, in my opinion. For the Zippy the Classless coming on in. I'll miss his family. I will miss his wife, his first lady. I exercised today. Your Orange Monkey host is about 50 pounds overweight. I've gained about 25 pounds over the last year or so, and I've got a reverse course. And I keep thinking about Michelle Obama as First Lady and the work she tried to do in attacking the obesity problem in the U.S., which is severe. It's a really bad problem that we have, though we choose mostly not to acknowledge it. And she tried to tackle that. Of course, the crazies on the GOP attacked her. What do you mean you're You're trying to get sodas banned out of school. It's a free market capitalist country. They ordered, it's choice. Keep taking away choice. Damn it. Government doesn't need to weed in their fingers. Well, yeah. We do need to reduce sugary colas that are in our school systems and get our children healthier. And if the government has to nudge that a little bit, yeah, that's what they're there for. That's what they do to make us a better country. Government is not the enemy. That's just a lot of crock of shit. President Reagan liked to paraphrase that. Government can't solve the problem because government is the problem. This is from a guy who was governor and then president, so you lived a life of government. So, you're part of the stink. Are there problems in government? Yes. Will there always be problems in government? Yes. Do you need to constantly try to approve it? Yes. Should you destroy government? No. Okay, libertarian crackpots, one and all of them out there. No government! That's not what the Founding Fathers wanted. Well, we tried that with the Articles of Confederation. Loose federal rules, local, state, and local rules, and it was a complete, unmitigated disaster. Complete disaster. Almost ended our country. We ended up with the Constitution we know and love today. The GOP may want to understand that for a little bit. There was quite a few folks in the Founding Fathers. Yes, government needs to be restrained, okay, but government has a vital role in a country. It does. And if you have a weak government, you will have a weak country. Do we need that? Do we need a strong conservative party out there as a stop wedge against the power of absolute liberal government? Yes, we do. Do we need folks that are concerned about spending and cutting spending? Yes, we do. But it is a balance, okay? Government still has to provide a social safety net. It's still within its mechanisms down, trickled through to the locals, has to provide a public education system. It had to provide utilities and infrastructure. It has to provide your defense. It has to provide a social security system. It has to be involved in healthcare. A pure privatized for-profit only healthcare system would be I don't want to say the word disaster, but it started with an F. That's what I wanted to say. So I'm rambling here. Let's get to the focus of today's Orange Monkey Report, particularly with Obama leaving and Zippy coming in. Renewable energies, efficient energy. Man, did President Obama get the snot hammered out of him by the crazies, the drill crowd, and everybody else, because he was a strong advocate that the future of energy lies in renewables, free, solar, advanced technologies. And he knew, with his wisdom, government is there to nudge a country with its energy policy to where it needs to go. And the GOP just hammers them on that. The GOP believes that the future of energy is dirty coal. There is no such thing as clean coal. It's all dirty. It's dirty coal. And fossil fuels. It's all about the bloody oil. That is our energy future. Fracking. Just because we have a 2,000-fold increase in minor earthquakes around where fracking takes place, why would we want to correlate that to fracking? That's crazy talk. Clearly, it is in solar and renewables, and the government is there to nudge us where we need to go. Today's topic, I promised to get to it, is the freaking light bulb. Okay? Pulled in my hand today, an LED light bulb uses 1/10 less. This uses less than 1/10 of the power of an incandescent bulb. Incandescent was the technologies bulbs started with and we've lived with since Thomas Alva and fellow scientists developed it. Incandescent lights were wonderful, an amazing technology, and it brought the world forward. You'll never get a bad word out of me about incandescence, about what it did. It helped revolutionize the world and countries. You suddenly had productivity at night. You never had that before. When it turned night, that was it. Go to bed. Boom, light's over. Time's over. Short days? No. With light bulbs, could run factories at night, could run businesses past sundown. Okay? Incandescence, wonderful technology. They made it as efficient at its best efficiency. It is a technology that is power inefficient, uses a lot of power for the light it generates, and will always be that way, and it's not particularly long lasting. You pour enough voltage through a filament to make it burn, and that's what it does, burn and emits light spectrum. Eventually that will break. Light bulb breaks, it has to be replaced. Okay, and it always used a lot of energy. Very expensive to power a business, a factory, a 5-story or 20-story office building with the incandescent lights. Too expensive, ridiculously expensive, not going to happen. So over the years they had to look for alternative light sources. They came up with fluorescent lights. Used a lot less energy. I don't know the percentage exactly, maybe half. That's why I came out with the long tubes, fluorescent tubes. They showed up in office buildings and in factories because they were so much cheaper. It affected the bottom line. Get rid of the incandescence, do the fluorescence. It wasn't a pretty light. Fluorescence isn't a pretty light. It's not pleasing to the human eye like a incandescent is. It's very pleasing to the eye and our colors and our senses and all that other things. Harsh light out of fluorescence, but they made the technology better over the years. They made the light better over the years. They learned to compact it. They learned to make it into a bulb about this size, a little bit bigger. Used about half the power of a incandescent light. I started putting them around my house. They were expensive. They had a long turn-on time, especially the things. They promised long life, but I don't ever think I believed their long life thing. I didn't have good success with fluorescent lights in terms of putting them around my house. But I was intrigued because they used, maybe I'm just cheap, they use less power, about half of it I think. But weren't really a fantastic option. But then because of my job, I started to become familiar with LED lights and the potential for it. And the thing was, when they first did the first bulbs, they weren't really bulbs, they were just kind of prototypes playing around, and they did this, but they saw the potential right there. It was an ugly looking light that emitted out of it, but the two things they found out was, man, this thing uses no power. LEDs use no power to produce a ton of light. Okay? We just don't know how to package it. We don't know how to get there from there. But they knew they were going to get there. They had some prototype bulbs, not practical, and they were very expensive at the time, like any new technology is when you break it in. Very expensive. But you also had fluorescence at that time. And government, with its wisdom, knew the future was not going to be in incandescent bulbs. And there is a vast amount of reasons why it is important for the government to ensure that its citizens are using its power efficiently, whether you can afford it or not. It makes us stronger as a country. Okay? We're using a lot more electronic devices than we ever did before, which all run on power. Okay? So if we don't chop it out somewhere, we're going to have this huge power generation problem. Okay? Because we have phones and everything else that have to be charge that we didn't have before. Bulbs was a great way to start reducing the thing and attack the problem of incandescent bulbs. So they put in there regulations, said we got to get rid of this technology, we got to go to the new stuff, halogens, fluorescents, it's out there. It would be a little more expensive. Those bulbs are more expensive than incandescents, which had gotten really cheap to make. 60 cents a bulb, and there was other ones that were about $3 a bulb, but the government said, I forgot the grace period with it, so I don't want to quote, but they gave a grace period of so many years and said, after that, you're not going to make incandescent bulbs or sell them in the US for general standard lighting applications. You're going to have to go to a higher efficiency technology. The GOP started jumping out of the frickin' windows. Oh my God. The iron boot of government telling poor Americans what light bulb they can use. How the dare they? Let the market decide. Okay? No, it was the right decision to give that nudge and give that thing to industry, because the industry went out there and said, I can't make incandescent bulbs, I better learn how to make fluorescents, halogens, and about this LED crap out there. Boy, that's a lot of promise out there for a bulb. If I can get these things to work, we're rocking. So, GOP's jumping out of the doors about this, what I call the government nudge. You're not going to use incandescents because it's not good. You want to be an energy efficient country. Okay? Incandescents are not. So lo and behold, they worked on the LEDs industry very hard. They made first ones very expensive, but very good. Last forever, don't use power. Now they got them. You can go to Walmart now. This is like 3 years after this mandate about incandescents going away. It took them only about 3 years. You can get these things now for almost as cheap. I got like a 6-pack at Walmart for like $8 or $9. Wasn't expensive at all. And they last forever. They use 1/10 the power. 1/10, 10% of the problem of an incandescent. They're brighter. They last. They're not gonna break. Okay? The government nudge, it worked. It's a major freaking success. GOP will never tell you that, okay? But I'm here on the Orange Monkey to report to tell you that. The government nudge to get out of incandescent technology, to go to LEDs, is a revolution. It's going to change our country for the better. Look at all of the lights in here. They're all LEDs. They are using 1/10 the power. Multiply my house by 14 million other houses across the country that are going to be LEDs soon, using all this less power. It's going to infiltrate into office buildings and everything else. They don't even have to be this shape. LEDs can be any shape you want. You can make the light any shape you want, cheaply. They're everywhere. Government nudge. It wasn't the GOP iron boot of government. It was the government nudge, and it was right. Okay? And because of it, we got this. We're much more energy efficient. Solar, LEDs, renewables, wind. That is our future. It is not dirty coal. It is not fossil fuels. Does that mean we have to get rid of those today? No. That would be stupid. Okay? We still need those. But they need to be replaced. President Obama had that vision. Zippy does not. Okay? So we're going to have a pause for a couple of years. We're going to go back to the Stone Age of energy. While other countries, China's moving out like crazy on solar. They need it. There's no freaking pollution with solar. There's no pollution out of this junk. Okay, they're moving out. They've got major pollution problems. That's going to help them. They realize that. We got Zippy over here telling them that, well, I'm going to open up every freaking coal mine in West Virginia. Okay? I am sympathetic to the coal miners' plight. I would much rather the government go in there, open up, work with industry, open up a frickin' LED factory, and tell these very bright individuals who know how to extract crap out of the ground. They're bright. They're not dumb hicks. They're very bright people. Get them working on making these even better, because they will. They'll figure it out. Government nudge can help out coal miners in West Virginia find new energy and new life in those times just as much as it did in replacing the incandescent bulb. Well, holy cow, I have talked your ears out today and I ain't going to do it anymore. That is today's Orange Monkey Report, and you have a fantastic day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.